Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about parenting advice or parenting tips for parents who find out that their child has a disability. Now I know this is a touchy subject and I will not sugarcoat it. This question comes from Nadia. Nadia, I really hope you like this one. Mwah. But first, my name is Margit Altdottir and I'm a mindset expert that serves women that want to take control of their lives. Welcome back. Now, last Monday I went live on Facebook like I usually do, and I gave a bonus tip like I usually do. But that bonus tip actually for this one is worth gold. Now, I got this from my son's teacher, and when he started school, and the thing was that, okay, I have to tell you that I do have a child, a son, who is soon turning 15. He has a brain damage, he has autism and development disorder. So in his head, he's maybe around 4 or 5 years old. And when he started school, the teacher said to me that, you know what? You do not have to worry about teaching him anything. That's our job. Your job is just to love him. That stuck with me. That was an important message for me. And I did that. I just showered him with love. And that is actually a very, very good bonus tip. And that's why I wanted to actually say it now. My tip number 1 is to let your feelings out. Now, all feelings do not have to have words, but it's important that you let them out. And when you get all this information from different people, from different specialists or doctors, that there's something not right with your kid is not normal, it's, I don't know what words they use, but anyhow, when you get that information, it's a lot of things to grasp, right? And in the meetings with all the doctors and the specialists and waiting for this word to come out, it's like you're in a bubble, right? You're in a bubble, and inside that bubble, there's so much sorrow, and there's so much worrying, and there's so much frustration, sometimes anger as well. Perfectly normal. And it needs to actually just get out. And the thing is that even, the best parents can actually think that this is not what I signed up for. I had this lovely dream, I had these expectations that are just crushed. They're totally crushed. But to say it out loud, this is not what I signed up for, that's kind of forbidden, right? Now, as a parent, and I'll tell you this right now, I will not sugarcoat this at all. I have a 15-year-old. I've been there, done that. I will not sugarcoat this. So if you are sensitive, then you should not watch this video. I will not be political correct. Anyhow, continuing. So, when you get the verdict from all the specialists and the doctors, the bubble kind of bursts. And let's say that you do then now, because of this video, you do get the verdict that your child has a disability. And that changes your whole life. Your whole life. That might mean that you need to learn sign language. That might mean that you need to go all kinds of courses, all kinds of stuff to just to learn how to be a parent to this child. And at the same time, you're dealing with all kinds of sorrow, all kinds of frustration. And believe me, all of those feelings just must get out of your system, one way or the other. And my best tip is to scream. That would be my tip number one, to scream. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about really low in your stomach and scream. Now, if you've seen some of my Wednesday videos, one of them is about stress, how to handle stress. And there I teach you the technique of screaming, of breathing. Now, when you just breathe really, really low in your stomach. And this is actually where you should begin. So if you do not have that technique, watch my Wednesday video about stress and get the breathing technique, because you really have to get low in your stomach. It has to come from your core, right? Now, when you scream, please do not do that at home. Somebody might call the police in your neighborhood. Do it by the ocean. Go out for a walk in the woods and just scream everything out, everything that you have in yourself. Sometimes this can actually be difficult. I remember when I gave birth to my son. Now he's soon 15, so it's a long time ago. But I remember it like yesterday. And I had to leave my son at the hospital for more or less 6 months. And that was just devastating. And every time, I was there a lot, but every time they would actually send me home and say, you know what? You need to have energy when he comes home. So you need to sleep. Which I'm very thankful for today. But before I went home, I would go to the ocean. And this was in Iceland, so the ocean is hysterical in October, November, and my son is born in the beginning of October. And I would go to the ocean and I would just scream. But the thing was that every time I tried in the beginning, I would cry. I would just cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. And it was like, I knew that the breathing techniques going, in the stomach, going to the core, but I wasn't getting there. It was like I was stuck, like I had a wooden blanket or something. I don't know what it's called in English, underneath my breast, my chest, and I was just stuck, and this is called a block. I know that now, and the thing is that you should not be afraid of it. So if you have a block somewhere, it's feelings, and it's perfectly normal. And it's totally safe. You need to know this. It's totally safe to keep breathing. You need to keep breathing through it. It will resolve in the end, I promise you. Even though it doesn't feel like it at the moment. My tip number 2. I'll make this a short one. If you need to scream, but you're not by the ocean, and you're not in the woods somewhere, or where people can't hear you, you're actually in your apartment, in your house, and maybe you have neighbors, and you don't want them to call the cops if you just scream. And the same thing goes for actually taking out your frustration and your sorrow to your loved ones, to, on your partner, on your child, on your relatives, on your best friends. Because that's very easy. It is very, very easy when you do have so much sorrow and you have so much worrying, you get so much frustration in your, it just has to get out, right? And it's easy. They're an easy target. Admit it. Now, you don't want to do that because it's not theirs, right? It's yours. And you just need to get it out. Scream into your pillow. Now, nobody will call the cops. No neighbors. Just scream as much as you can in your pillow instead. My tip number 3 is to be kind to yourself. It's very easy to feel like you're not enough as a parent. And that you can feel in any case, but it multiplies when you have a child with disabilities. You might lose your temper with your closest relatives or family, partner, or with your child. Your child can be a handful, or maybe your child just reacts differently from anything that you know, and you just do not know what to do. Now I'm going to tell you a short story about my son. When he was around, I think he was around 2 years old. This went on for about a year. And I'm talking 2 or 3 days a week. I would wake up and find him in his bed with poop all over the place. Now, the poop was on his body, it was on his bed, of course, everywhere on the walls, and sometimes even on the floor, and everywhere where he would actually get his hands on toys and stuff like that. And so my first morning chore was to clean up the poop. And of course, I can understand the whole fascination is warm and it's, you know, the congestions and everything, but a year doing that, I can tell you that I was on my knees, I was crying, and I was cleaning that poop. And we're talking not just like once, we're talking over and over and over again. Now, we're not just talking about me being frustrated. We're talking about me being totally drained. And after a while, you know, a bit crazy. In these moments, it's very easy to think sorry for yourself. It's very easy to, you know, just to feel like I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I signed up for. I didn't think that my dream of this family and this beautiful baby and blah, 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 blah would turn out me totally drained of my energy on my knees cleaning up poop, right? It's easy to feel sorry for yourself in these moments. And it's also easy to get angry at your child, right? And this is what we do as parents, right? There's nothing abnormal about that. But the thing is that when you have a child with a disability, you know it's not their fault. And so you kind of beat yourself up more when you have a child with disability, when you get angry, when you let these feelings out on them. And of course, there's a feeling of being a bad parent that comes afterwards, right? Now, it comes creeping in. And then you can actually beat yourself up for the thoughts that you had. Even though you didn't express them, but you had the thought. And if you had the thought, you must be a bad parent. Now, what is the thought I'm talking about? Now, this is a thought that I know. I have a child. He's not a child anymore. He's 24 years old. He's a grown-up man. But in his lifetime, I probably wanted to throw him out the window, whatever, like 2 times. In his whole lifetime. With my son with disabilities, there's a totally different story. As a parent, you feel like you want to throw them out of the window. I don't know, like few times a week. Or like 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. And that thought can totally drain you, because when you feel like you're a bad parent and you judge yourself because of that thought, you're not in a very good place, right? But I understand this, because you cannot talk to this about anybody. When you have little kids, the little babies who have colics, who have stomach aches, it is a common expression that you just, you're so drained of energy, you've been walking every night, blah, 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 and you just want to throw them out the window. But and that's okay, because everybody knows you're talking about a feeling here. But if you breathe this to anybody, because you have a child with a disability, you know what? You can have a surprise visit from the social service. So this is not very easy to talk about, but I have to tell you, and I have to ensure you, that because you had the thought, you also have a boundary. Okay? If you would not have a boundary, you wouldn't even have the thought. And if you wouldn't have a boundary, it would just happen. You would just do the things that you were actually thinking about. And then, that would be correct to call the, social services. The thing is that those people, I'm not talking to those people. If you are that people, please get some help. I'm talking to you guys who are battering yourself as bad parents because you have the feeling of you hate your kid. I told you I would not sugarcoat this. And you want to throw them out the window, or even worse. The thing is that is totally normal. And I want to reassure you, because you have the thought, you do have a boundary. You will never go there. You will never go there. Now, tearing yourself down because of those thoughts is not the way to go, right? You need to be strong. You need to fill yourself with all the positive thinking, everything that you can do to boost yourself and to feel stronger and be stronger. If not for you, you need to do it for your child. So guys, as you can hear, I do have a lot to say on this subject, and 3 tips is just not enough. And that's why I've actually been lecturing about this for years. But for this Wednesday video, these are my 3 tips. Please be kind to yourself. It's so important. Don't push yourself down. You need all the strength that you can get. So please subscribe to my Wednesday videos every Wednesday. If you want me to talk about a subject, I'll give you 3 tips. Just write to me on Insta or on Facebook or in the comments below. And I will definitely give you 3 tips on your question. Now, of course, like every Wednesday, I give you a free coaching session. Just write to me as well, and we will book a session. Now, the thing is that in about a month, I will be starting my theater course, which is so exciting. And I really hope that all of you guys who are in Uppsala and Stockholm, check this out, because this course is not like any other. You are so welcome to join. And I will say thank you so much, and actually remind you that you got this!